You may now be seated. Hello, my name is Victor Earl. I am the SGA president of the 23-24 Southwestern College this year. Today I was asked to give encouraging words to you all. I chose a poem that my dad introduced to me when I was going through a hard time. I was here in my freshman year and now I look at this every time. So here it is, See It Through by Edgar Albert Guest. When you're up against a trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin and set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can. You may fail, but you may conquer, see it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerves desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, in spite of all that you can do, running from it will not save you, see it through. Even though hope may seem but futile, when the troubles your beset. But remember you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but fall still fighting. Don't give up. Whatever you do, eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through. As you go through the school year, no matter if it's good, bad, or medium, make sure you know you have a community behind you that loves you for the way you are, and that you're also facing challenges head on. So see it through the school year.
President Prompton, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, emeritus, returning faculty, and those that are new to us this year, staff and students, and community members. It's my honor to welcome you to the Southwestern College Opening Convocation. A convocation is a word often used on campuses of colleges and universities in the United States. In its simplest form, the word means the act or process of calling an assembly of persons to a meeting. When it pertains to a college or university, it normally refers to some type of ceremonial gathering. Thus, the beautiful processional played by Dr. Leland, the wearing of academic regalia, the national flags lining King Drive, the main entrance of the college to recognize the homes of our many international students. At Southwestern, this time-honored ceremony marks the official start of the academic year. We gather to formally recognize our incoming students who have traveled from all over the U.S. and far beyond to attend this college. And after a busy couple of weeks spent moving into residence halls and apartments, saying goodbye to loved ones, attending orientation programs, making new friends, joining team members to prepare for competition, and peers for rehearsals and activity planning, celebrating important traditions and attending your first classes this week, after the whirlwind that brings us together, here we are at Convocation. And students, you have the opportunity at this official opening to commemorate a new life chapter and contemplate your academic goals. Each one of you brings a unique and personal story, a distinct set of talents that now come together in this space called Southwestern College. We also today extend appreciation to our faculty and staff, all of those who work to create this thriving community where students are able to feel a sense of belonging, a community that underscores the purpose and expectations of academic life, and a community that honors and values those among us whose achievements inspire us. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Speaking of achievements that inspire us, I'm privileged to introduce the scholar of the college, the honor that goes to this year's senior with the highest grade point. Frederica Boyd is not here today, was not able to be with us, but he will complete a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Digital Arts this December. He currently maintains a GPA of 3.99. Please, even though he's not here today, when you see him across campus, make sure that you recognize that incredible achievement. And as we begin the year, we pull the thread of academic achievement forward from last year. We prepare to weave excellence into our academic experiences this year. At this time, I would direct your attention to the back of the program where the students on the Dean's Honor Roll appear listed. If you are on the Dean's Honor Roll, please stand at this time and receive our recognition and congratulations. Those of you who are listed on the back of the program, celebrate the work of student scholars and dedicated faculty, where we're reminded of what this exciting, fun, and challenging college experience is really ultimately focused on. It's about learning and growing. It's about helping each student more fully discover what is possible. It's about acknowledging and chasing possibility. It's about earning a college degree. Everything that demands of us and everything that affords us throughout our lives. Indeed, it is hopeful and powerful work each of us will be doing in the hours, days, months ahead. I cannot wait. So welcome and thank you for being here. And now, before President Fromgen comes forward to introduce this morning's speaker, the a cappella choir will perform Lux Esto, written and composed by alumna Sarah Miller.
we just give them one more round of applause? Second time this brand new composition, a new song for us, has been performed on this stage. So thank you, acapella choir. You sounded, I think I can speak for all of us, simply amazing. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the official start of the 2023-2024 academic year at Southwestern College. It is always a great day to be a builder. I think today, it is one of the most awesome days to be a builder. And so today, we officially celebrate the journey ahead of us. The beginning of the academic year is a special time, filled with so much excitement and energy. I must say, students, it is such a joy to see you on campus with your I love backpacks, with your backpacks, because it's a symbol of doing schoolwork, right? Going to school, making your way across campus to your classes. I love seeing faculty, staff, and coaches doing their incredible work in support of our students. It warms this president's heart. And I'm so glad that all of you, each and every builder, is here on campus. You, with your unique background and perspective, your gifts, your hopes and dreams, you make our college stronger through being yourself, your presence, and your expectations on campus. I am so very proud of you. I cannot wait to see the many incredible things that we do together as a builder family this year. Again, I welcome you and wish you a meaningful and successful year. Also, you know that I'm always here for you. But this morning, I have a particular task before me. I have the sincere honor and privilege of introducing our speaker this morning, Dr. Kristen Pettey, known by many of us simply as KP. As you'll hear as I read her biography, she is many things. But I want to emphasize one thing in particular. She is a builder through and through. She is a fierce advocate for Southwestern College, in all ways, but in particularly on behalf of our students. That's why they call her KP. So Southwestern College faculty chair and professor of business, Dr. Kristen Pettey graduated from Liberal High School as valedictorian, not surprising, and came to Southwestern College in the late 90s. While earning her undergraduate degree at Southwestern, she was fully engaged in campus life, playing tennis, singing in several small ensembles, and the a cappella choir. Really? You weren't up there? Well, you should. Okay, well, we're going to have that. I think, Simon, you had another recruit. While earning a Bachelor of Arts in Physics. After graduating, she was employed by Cessna Aircraft Company as a systems safety engineer for 3 years, tiring of the daily drive from Winfield to Wichita because, of course, she stayed in Winfield. She then worked for GE Aircraft Engine at Strother Field as a process engineer on the CF-34 engine line. While employed at GE, she completed her master's in business administration on main campus here. And through a connection made in that program, she got a job as a productivity and quality manager at Rubbermaid Home Products here in Winfield. Working there for 5 years, she had several other additional roles, including safety manager for the plant. In late 2007, she was hired back at the college as an adjunct professor to teach quantitative methods for the business department, and then joined college as a full-time professor in January 2008. In 2016, she completed her PhD in business administration with an emphasis in management from North Central University in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Dr. Pettey continues to be an active faculty member at the college, serving on various committees. This year, she is the elected by her faculty chair, and is serving also as the assistant faculty athletics representative. Additionally, she is often called upon to sing the national anthem at sporting events. She also sings and plays piano for the faculty staff chapel band. She is an active person who enjoys playing tennis, and she loves pickleball. Did they know that about you? I knew that. Additionally, she is mom to Hayes and a wife. Her husband Brian is also a builder. And as you know, KP is also a lover of dogs. So please join me podium. Hi there. There's a lot of you in here. More than I planned for, actually. But I will give you, this won't be very long, so you can just know that ahead of time. Isaac Newton in 1675 said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." I'd like to talk to you just briefly about the past, the present, and the future. Okay, so how many of you have like Time Hop or some kind of app that gives you memories? Anybody? Am I the only person? Okay, a few of you. Okay. As of today, okay, this is my bragging moment. As of today, I've checked my Time Hop. What do you have a good streak? Mine's 2,628 days in a row. I'm in the 7-year club. I'm like, what do you call a big deal, right? My kid's like, I can't believe you waste your time on this. I'm like, well, now I can't lose my streak. It's important. But for some people, memories are super comforting, and they're cathartic, and they're a good way for us to reflect on what we've been through and kind of learn from those things and rejoice in those happy moments. And some people don't enjoy that at all. Some people are like, okay, well, I lived that, let's move on. Let's live for happier times. I'll admit that some of mine make me a little sad, but as my teenage son has grown up, it's provided a lot of good reflection and is making me feel quite old as I see that he's getting old. But I still enjoy looking at those memories. Southwestern, as President Liz mentioned, it's a huge part of my history. It's also a huge part of my extended family's roots. My father-in-law played on the undefeated football team back in the day. My mother-in-law was a trustee for a long time before I started working here. My mother and father-in-law both graduated from here. All 3 of their children went here. All 3 of their spouses of their children went here. We have a brick out on the mountain on the paper. So we have a long, long history at Southwestern. When I came here, some of you know this, when I came here, I came as an undecided major. I had no idea what I wanted to do. My sister was here already, and I had already fallen in love with Southwestern. I had come for a campus visit weekend, and I was like, yep, that's where I'm gonna be. And she was pre-med, she was biology and chemistry major, and she played tennis. And I was like, I came for like siblings weekend that we have every once in a while, and I was like, yep, that's it. It's where I'm gonna go. My mother was 100% certain this was a bad idea. She's like, they don't even have an engineering program. She was convinced I needed to be an engineer. And some of you might have that little rebellious streak in you. I definitely got the second child rebellious streak. And if she said it was what I needed to do, then I was 100% gonna not do whatever she wanted me to do. I was gonna go the opposite way. So it made my decision. She's like, you need to go to K-State and go into engineering. I'm like, no, I don't want to be an engineer. That sounds so boring. I can't even fathom how horrible that would be. Okay, just wait. And I was like, I really want to have a more diverse experience than somewhere like K-State would give me. I'm not good enough to play tennis at K-State. I'm not going to be able to just go sing or anything else or go take piano or things that I did while I was a student here. And so I was convinced I was going to go to Southwestern, and we were going to live, my sister and I were going to live together, and I was going to play tennis. That's about as far as my logic had gone by that point. But I came here, I took calculus in high school for college credit, so I was able to take calc-based physics with Bob Gallup. My freshman year with my sister, that was not her jam. None of that was her thing. She just barely squeaked through, and I have to confess, Bob, we did a lot of that together. We did a lot of that homework together, because that was really bad. But at the end of the semester, my professor, George Gainware, and who doesn't teach here anymore, but some of you who've been around for a while will remember him quite fondly, lives right across the street from the campus. So he said, what's your major? And I said, funny story, I'm undecided. And he was like, well, you're pretty good at math and science, and we don't have any physics majors that are girls. Would you like to be a physics major? And I said, sure. You have just heard 100% of my career planning in one sentence.
would you like to be a physics major? Okay. And when I said that to him, at graduation where we all greet everyone as they walk through the tunnel, I said, I'm only here because of one conversation with you. And he said, are you okay with that? I'm like, dude, it's done. We're not going back. It's over. So obviously when I told my dad what I was going to do, I said, I'm going to major in physics. He goes, what do you do with a physics degree? And I'm like, whatever I want, because I'm really, I've got all kinds of plans. Yeah, I had nothing. It meant I was going to go back to school for a lot more years, which is fine with me because I love school. I graduated early, and I tell my students all the time, unless you have a plan for what you want to do, a specific plan for what you want to do when you get out of here and have laid some foundation to that, don't graduate early. You gotta have plans. You gotta start now, and that's one thing I'm super passionate about because of my history here. I'm super passionate about helping students kind of look forward to see what it is, because I always tell them, the train is eventually gonna come into the station. And like it or not, you have to get off. And it's not pleasant, but if you've thought through what you wanna do, we can make that process so much better. So during the following year, I was completely lost. Graduated early, no plan, no nothing, just gonna do whatever I want as a physics major, right? I became an RD in Broadhurst. I helped coach the tennis team, and I helped with physics labs. And that really wasn't quite as fulfilling as I had hoped, I guess. Midway through the year, though, Cessna Aircraft came to campus. Martin Rude was actually the person that hooked me up with them. He said, hey, they were looking for people to interview that had math and science backgrounds, but not engineering backgrounds, to go work as, drumroll, engineers. Oh crap, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, eat my words, this is gonna taste really bad. I interviewed and got a job as a system safety engineer at Cessna. The moral of the story is, your mom's probably right. And she's probably right. I went on to work at GE Aircraft Engines as a process engineer before finishing my MBA and moving into management at Rubbermaid. So that's the past. The present, I just want to encourage you guys, your time here at Southwestern is so special. It's unlike any other time in your whole entire life. If there are things, if you have a safety net, we're here to help you and to encourage you and to prod you forward. But what I would encourage you to do is, I really want you to live in it, to really enjoy it. Not look toward the next thing. As I look through my memories, I often have mixed emotions about the number of pictures that exist from my growing up years, especially in college years. And sometimes I'm really happy about that. Sometimes there are good things that there are not more recordings of what we did. But unfortunately or fortunately, we spend a lot of time. We live in a time where you document a lot of stuff that you're doing. And sometimes, when you look back on it, sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not so great. You gotta get the picture for the gram. You have to get that picture. It's not any good unless you get it documented. I want you to fight that urge to record every moment and instead live in it and store it in your brain. Enjoy those moments as they happen. We talked this morning actually in my class about multitasking and how some people are better at it than others. I am a multitasker galore, and if I'm told to sit somewhere, I can only think about all the things I should be getting done while I'm sitting there. Like, I could be doing fill in the blank. I come by it honestly. My mom, again, God, my mom keeps popping up. She always said, make sure you take your Spanish flashcards with you in case you get stuck at a train. That's actually decent advice because lately there have been a ton of trains, if you've noticed. Anyway, it's great advice if you're studying for a Spanish 3 exam, but it's not so great if you're just trying to live. Because what that really does to you is it just makes you live in anticipation of something else. You're always trying to fill that, she called it a pocket of time. You're always filling those pockets of time instead of just enjoying them and living in them. Does anybody else leave the house in the morning without your smartwatch and say, everything I do today is worthless because it's not being tracked? Yeah, you're like, I might as well not even walk anywhere because it's not counted for anything, right? The answer is really simple, right? You could be absorbing the day. You could be absorbing that for what it is. You don't have to document it. It doesn't have to be filled up to be valuable, just like it doesn't have to be documented to be worthwhile. Just enjoy it. Just spend that time. Go for a walk and take your watch off. It's shocking, right? We can do that. The other concept I'd briefly like to discuss relating to the present is how it impacts our future. One aspect in particular, which is our words. I guarantee every single one of you has had someone say to you, "You're really good at this," or maybe even, "You're really bad at this." I'm sure that you've all had that moment. Think for just a second about how that impacted your perceived ability to do whatever that was. When somebody speaks that into your existence, it changes you. Like it or not, you can be as hard-shelled as possible. It changes you. And it can be true. It can be true. Gama Gomez one time told me, I told him I was bad at soccer, and he said, "Well, at least you know your weaknesses." I'm like, "Well, thanks, Gama." I'm like, I didn't really intend for you to be like, "Hey, you're right." You think about that when he's coaching you, right? He's going to be honest, so you can give him for that. My sister was a complete handful for my mom, like a complete handful. We were 18 months apart. And my mom, who stayed home with us when we were little, had an enormous battle on her hands. Anybody that's hung out with little kids very much, when they start walking, you just get ready. It's really hard. But the only thing she would sit still for is for my mom to read. So she read to us nonstop. That's all she did was read to us. So I started reading because I was hearing it all day long every day. I started reading when I was about 3 and a half. And it just really came naturally to me. But when I got to second grade, I had a really nasty teacher, and her name was Mrs. Thompson. Just kidding. Mrs. Thompson. Mrs. Thompson made a comment about how I wasn't a good reader. And that comment stuck with me all the way through to my adulthood. Now, those of you who've seen me anywhere, I always have a book. In fact, I brought one up here. So I always have a book. I have 2 books going at a time. I listen to one in my truck on Audible, and then I have one in, because you can't always listen, so you can have a paper one as well. You have to have a book. You never know when you're going to be stuck and need a book. So just imagine how different things would have been, how much more I could have enjoyed my life, enjoying the reading I had to do for school and things like that, if I had faith in my own ability to read. Right? Imagine if it had been different, like the conversation George had with me where he told me, "You're good at this." Immediately when he told me that, I'm like, "Yeah, I am good at this." And then it becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You understand, you say, somebody sees some value in what I do, I'm going to continue to provide that value, and I'm going to nurture it. I received that feedback from George, from Bob, even though Bob told me all the time how I was making up my own algebra. Yes, I remember those days. And so many others from my time here. I'm sure you've heard it said, and probably your mothers said this, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I want you to really think on that in the coming weeks. On the same token, if you have something nice to say it. Don't wait. Don't be like, "Oh, I'm sure they've already heard that." Say it. "I like your hair. I like your presentation today," or "You do a really good job at fill in the blank." Say those things. Not everybody knows that, and a lot of people need that. When the focus is on building others up, we all get better. We don't make ourselves better by tearing other people down. We make ourselves better by building each other up so we're a stronger team together. We have a huge network here at Southwestern. We have an enormous network of builders all around the world. And in fact, they are reinvigorating. President Liz is planning to reinvigorate. They're doing some things to reinvigorate our alumni network. So that will be even more apparent. Those connections will be even more obvious to you in the coming months and years as you become alums. Reach out to those people. They were here. They get what it is to be a builder, and they want to help you succeed. So use those people and use that, and then you can see further by standing on the shoulders of giants. In closing, I'd like to offer just a quick snippet of motivation. Some of you will recognize this because this has been on my office door since I started teaching here. So if you've ever stood outside my office door with it closed, which isn't very often, but it's on my door. And it's from a Nike ad. All your life, you're told the things you cannot do. All your life, They will say, you're not good enough, or you're not strong enough, or talented enough. They'll say you're the wrong height, or the wrong weight, or the wrong type to play this, or be this, or achieve this. They will tell you no, 1,000 times no, until all those no's become meaningless. All your life, they will tell you no, quite firmly and very quickly, and you will tell them yes. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dan Falk. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs and the Dean of Students. And it's been a great start to the semester. Students have moved in and seem to be getting settled in just fine. The residence halls are busy. There's been a lot of activity around campus. We've had an amazing mountain building ceremony last night, and the campus community enjoyed the time-honored tradition. I wanted to announce a few events that are coming up. First, the women's soccer team travels tomorrow to Alva, Oklahoma to play Northwestern Oklahoma State University at 6 o'clock. The men's soccer team hosts Central Christian College tonight. JV plays at 6 and varsity plays at 8:30. It'd be great to come out and support them. Volleyball is on the road tonight to take on Peru State at Peru, Nebraska at 6 o'clock. Don't forget chapel next Wednesday at 11 a.m. outside in the Grove. Dr. Dawn Plez will be the speaker. She'll be delivering a message of hope there, so we're excited for that. Students, please be aware that the last day to drop and add classes will be this coming Monday, August 21st at 5 o'clock. Make sure to be in contact with your advisor and coach before changing your schedule. This is a great time to start enjoying the culture and events that Southwestern has to offer. So it is important for us to remember and value our Builder family. Being there for each other to celebrate our talents and efforts in each program and activity. We also need to take time to support and encourage each other during the semester. Builders take care of each other. So let us move forward through this year and continue our great start with confidence, hope, and excitement. I'm now going to turn it over to Dr. Simon Hill for the singing of the alma mater.
Would you please rise in body or in spirit and join in the singing?
Stand on
Thank you for this campus, not just for the land and the buildings, but the people, the builders, the Southwestern College mound builders. Thank you for those that give and work and serve and volunteer. Thank you for past and present and future builders. As we begin a new academic year, help us to press on, to move on, to hold on to the good and let go of the bad, and step into a new school year with your presence and your power and your promise. God, do something new. Would you join me in the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we've forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever and ever. Amen.